Hello everybody and welcome back to Golden Sun. This is DepressedSkorpion and we're going to be continuing on with our adventure right where we left off, with our mom telling us to go see Kraden. Now normally you might get a bit lost if you weren't paying attention to all the stuff she said, but I happen to know exactly how to get there, so we're going to go there. But first, we're not actually going to go there. We're going to go down here first. Also there's puppies in the way. I don't want to let them be, but they won't let us go by. So we can't actually go down there. Yet. Don't worry guys, we'll get down there. We'll get past the puppies that are in our way. And look who it is! A couple of people that Isaac and Garrett don't remember because they were knocked unconscious. Meet Satros and Minardi again. By the way guys, this episode is going to be quite a bit longer than the last two because we will be going through the entire first dungeon, including all of its story, which takes a while. And so this one's probably going to end up more along the lines of around 30 minutes rather than 15. Just so you guys know, just a heads up from the get-go, though I'm sure you can see that already. And I'm going to go ahead and say, yeah, we were. See, but no one was really sneaking around here. That's what I don't understand about this. Everybody was just kind of talking to themselves. But apparently everybody was sneaking around. This is according to everybody. And is this important enough to drive you away? I think so. Because you guys are kind of jerks, and most stuff would be enough to drive you away. Now, I say they're jerks. These two are awesome bad guys. I love these guys as bad guys. But Satros more than Minardi. Because Minardi is very submissive to Satros. You'll find, like, she will always kind of ask for his permission and make sure it's what he wants and stuff like that. So she's not really in charge of herself as much as I'm sure she would like to think she is. Here's Kraden talking to himself about things that Satros and Minardi know about Soul Sanctum, which no one should know. So apparently, Satros and Minardi are gonna try to do some nonsense, and we can't let that happen. So we're gonna come up over here, and before we go talk to him, we're gonna go ahead and do this, because we get an elixir. Spoilers, we probably won't ever use it. Because elixirs aren't all that useful. They're kind of useful, but you generally don't need them. Or at least I generally don't need them. Yep, Satros and Minardi were their names. Well, obviously they wanted something with Kraden, because otherwise they wouldn't have talked to him. Also, you notice all these little faces and emotes that would pop above these guys' heads? Really awesome. I love that about this game, and they keep it throughout the entire series of games. It's one of the things that makes this game unique is all these little emotes that pop up. Show you the mood of whoever you're talking to, so that you don't have to go completely based off of context clues. You can go off of, you know, what the game's actually telling you. Yeah, I agree with Kraden. Let's go into Soul Sanctum. Let's go do some nonsense, guys. I'm sorry if it's hard to keep track of what they're saying with me talking over it, but there's a lot of stuff I want to say, and I just went ahead and said yes there. There's a lot of stuff I want to say, and so I'm just going to try to get it out of the way. I'll be quiet if I can, but, you know, what happens, happens. I went ahead and said yes there, too. Yep, it'll just be our secret. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to go on. Yes, I like being leader. I really like being the leader. Especially since Isaac is freaking awesome. I don't understand why Garrett got mad at that. And now, Kraden, almost said Kraken. Kraden is going to go grab some stuff that is integral to the story. Yay! We like things to be integral to the story. Now, before we go and do what he wanted, we're gonna go instead down and around those puppies that are no longer there. Yeah, there's no more puppies. Go across here, go down here, go down here. We're gonna keep running this way. And you notice there's no rocks to block our path this time. And now we're gonna go into town. And we're gonna go this way, back down. And we're gonna go ahead and go in here. Ooh, messed it up almost. Walk over here, we're gonna talk to this bro. This is the weapon shop bro. We're gonna go ahead and buy a longsword for Isaac. He's gonna equip it. So now we're gonna go ahead and sell that. We're gonna go ahead and buy a longsword for Garrett. We're gonna equip that. Alright. Now the reason I do this, he's also gonna give us a game ticket. Game tickets are basically useless, and I won't be using them at all, except to sell them. But I take them so that I can sell them. They're worth 37 coins a piece. It's not a whole lot, but it's enough. Like, they accumulate and can add up, so you have that going for you. But the reason I do that is it makes this next dungeon way easier. Not that it's difficult to begin with, but we are only level 1. We have more HP than we did in the beginning section, but we're only level 1 at this part. So any extra survivability, and the offense is the best defense in this game, means that there's less likelihood of me dying. Not that I plan on dying here anyway, just so you guys know. Nope, we're not trying to sneak up anywhere. Just yeah, just go over there, and we're gonna run on by. Goodbye, monk person, dude thing. Yeah, goodbye. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna go into Soul Sanctum now. Now, we don't run into monsters here until there's a long hallway, and that's where you can first run into monsters here. Yes, this is our first time here. So yeah, there's not really any monsters until a little bit in. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna go up here first, because this is how you get across. So now we're across the first obstacle. Yay, and now this is where we can run into monsters for the first time. But we probably won't for a little bit. It takes... There we go. We finally ran into some monsters. Hey, and we got a first attack. So we're just going to normally attack. Actually, first, I'm going to go ahead and show some synergy we got now. We now have some synergy, which I forgot to show some earlier. But here we have some for inside battles. Isaac can cure. It's one of his more useful things he learns. Garrett can use flare, but he's more useful to just hit things because he doesn't have a lot of PP. And Jenna can also use flare because she's also Mars at it, but she has considerably more PP than the other two. So we're just going to have her go ahead and cast. And then these two are just going to follow up with a kill. Vermin give you the most experience in here, except for one other type of enemy, which we haven't seen yet. And hopefully we get to run into more than one. I don't want to attack the middle one, we want to attack the one on the side. Jenna is the fastest, so she's always going to hit first. And then Isaac is the second fastest. Alright, actually let me go ahead and show the synergy we have outside of battle. We have Cure also outside of battle. We also have Move, which allows us to move objects that we normally couldn't. And then we have Retreat, which has return to dungeons entrance as long as we have the PP. Now that's going to be useful later. Garrett only has Move, and Jenna has no usable synergy outside of battle. It's actually really weird that Garrett has Move, even at this point. Also, we're going to go up to the middle first here. It's really weird that Garrett has Move, because that is actually Venus synergy. We're going to go ahead and grab this. Hey, look! Small jewel. Wonder what that could do. But that's Venus synergy, and he's a Mars adept. Oh, we actually don't want to go. We want to go this way. And he's a Mars adept. Now, the reason that's important is because Mars adepts are supposed to be only proficient in Mars synergy unless they have lots of training in different unless they have, by the way, that gem is used to solve that puzzle if it wasn't already obvious. But Mars adepts should only be proficient in Mars synergy unless, you know, they've had a lot of experience and have done a lot of stuff But Garrett is obviously still very new, and so he doesn't, but he can still use move. Now, my own theory on this is that Vale is a predominantly Venus village. You don't find that out until the third game, but Vale was a predominantly Venus village, and the reason that's important is because it shapes a lot as far as this game is concerned. Like, you're technically the Venus tribe of this game, but Garrett is a Mars adept. Like, you're just born into whatever synergy you happen to be adept at, and so it is my thought that because he grew up in a Venus village, that he would have learned move from watching them, because you can learn synergy from other adepts, assuming that you have the will. And we can assume that Garrett had the will to learn move. But as you can see, he also still does flare. And Isaac actually doesn't have any combat synergy, so who knows. Yeah, we should help Kraden. Kraden wants us to look around some more if he didn't catch that. And so we're gonna look around some more. Now, you can go over here and push this, and there's a passage behind it. There's a room behind it. I'll go ahead and show you guys the room. There's nothing in here. There's just this. There may actually be something in here if you like come back later or something, but as far as I know, all it is a place where you can kill some monsters. We're gonna go ahead and use flare, which will kill the mushroom, and we all just kind of missed the slime. You actually notice, if you notice there, Isaac didn't even really get to try to attack. That's because I chose him to attack the enemy that died, the wild mushroom. And since I did that, he didn't get to attack that turn. I believe that was taken from Final Fantasy, but that's just the way combat works in this game. We can go ahead and do this. Oh, you know what? Why not? Double flare. Flare will really do the same amount of damage with either of them, but she has more synergy, so I try not to use flare with Garrett. Okay, so now we have the Squire's Quakes. The person who's a Squire is our friendly neighborhood Isaac, and he went up a level. I'll actually go ahead and show this. If you look here, Isaac is, where it was a question mark earlier, it now says Squire. That is his class. And we, of course, like our classes because they're what give us our stats. Isaac is a guard, and Jenna is a flame user. Which is essentially the caster equivalent to a guard, which a guard is just standard flame adept. Standard fighting flame adept, I should say. Now, do I want to go up this way, or do I want to go up the other way? I want to go up the other way. I believe the other way is where we have to go. Now, another thing is, if you look at here, at this little thing, you'll see that it says flare. It gives a little picture next to it that kind of shows what it does. You see the amount of PP it uses. You have your little symbol for what kind of element it is, and then you have those three little bars. And what those three little bars are for is they show you how many enemies the synergy will hit. And so as you can see, flare will hit 3. Now the only other way to learn that is through trial and error, which the first time I played I didn't even really take note of those bars. I didn't think they were important. Yeah, I probably should have gone the other way. I didn't think that they were that important. We're going to use double flare here again. I didn't think that they were that important, but if you don't want to just trial and error your way through figuring out what does what, that's how you can figure it out. So now we're just going to hit the mushroom to death. Also, I forgot to mention, we saw some slimes. Slimes are pretty cool. I don't think, yeah, everyone else is tip-top. Also, you see Garrett and Jenna also went up levels, so they get their stuff back. Oh, yep, we went the wrong way. So we're gonna have to do a little bit back, but that's alright. This dungeon isn't all that big. Now, the way you get PP back in this game is by walking or running inside of dungeons or on the world map. Inside of towns, you do not regenerate PP while walking or running. You can get it back by going to an inn or through activating a synergy stone. We'll see a synergy stone fairly soon, So don't worry about that. Like they're really easy to recognize too. So we're gonna go ahead and get in the chest. We're gonna find another small jewel, which of course we want. Then we're gonna come back over here. We're gonna get attacked again. I actually don't think you have to go around this way, but I'm gonna go around this way anyway because I like redundancy. Yeah, if you just watch Jenna's PP bar as we go, like you see now it's up to 21, it was at 20. Now it's up to 22, it was at 21. Yeah, I'm just going around in circles now. So we're gonna go back up here. Now we want Isaac to hit the slime because slime has more health than a bat. That's just kind of something you have to learn through playing the game where you can look it up. Actually, I think they have around the same amount, so it doesn't really matter. But, you know, just to be safe. Because Isaac does do more damage. So we're going to go ahead and... He's going to look at all these statues. Now you can move every single one of these statues. Now this is to teach you that synergy solves puzzles. Because it does. So we're going to go ahead and use move synergy here. And it's going to reveal another Minotaur. Now, we did pick up... I actually went to the wrong one. We did pick up another small jewel. So we're going to put it in this Minotaur. And it's going to open up another way again. However, as you can imagine, it's going to be behind one of these statues. Now, normally, you would move every single one. But I happen to know exactly where we need to go. So we're going to just go to that one. So here we are, we're in the next part. And look, hey, here's the enemy I wanted to show off. This enemy gives you the most experience in this dungeon, in case you ever wanted to grind in this dungeon for whatever reason. I'm going to be grinding at the end of this episode. I'm going to be grinding up a little bit. Actually, no, I won't. I'll be grinding after the next episode, not after this one. But I won't be grinding up on these guys, but these guys you can grind up on if you really want to in this dungeon. They give you the most experience. I'm just going to kind of hit them. I'm happy if I'm level 2 or I'm really happy if I'm level 3 by the time I leave this dungeon, and I'm still happy if I'm level 2 by the time I leave this dungeon. Alright, so we're going to keep going, because now, oh, another enemy. Didn't mean to run this far. I was just looking over to make sure I didn't miss anything. I was pretty sure I didn't. So there we go, we're going to finish him off again. So here we are. We found the sunroom. This is Soul Sanctum, so it is understandable that we ran into a sunroom. I accidentally skipped that one really quick. I'm sorry, guys. He was just talking about how this is the heart of Soul Sanctum. So now they are coming to the conclusion that Satras and Minardi must have broken in here, and they were probably stealing something. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, Satras and Minardi did not steal anything because they didn't get to where the good stuff is. Don't worry, guys. We get to where the good stuff is. No, I'm not going to leave. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that, Kraden. We're not going to leave. We're going to help you out. Yeah, let's go. Let's do it. Let's do it. Yay, Kraden's in love. Okay, so before we go any farther, what I'm going to go ahead and do, first of all, I'm going to heal up Garrett. And the second thing I'm going to do, I'm going to go here to these items. I'm going to go over to Jenna's items. I'm going to unequip them from her. Oh, I don't want to use. Alright, now we're going to give them all to Isaac. Nope. Because it's the same as what we have. Also, another thing is certain party members can only equip certain weapons and armor. Such as dresses can only be equipped by female party members, of which there are only 2, Jenna and one other, who we'll meet later. And staves can only be equipped by casters, of which there are 3, Jenna and 2 others who we'll run into. And then swords and axes can only be equipped by Isaac and Garrett. Yes, I'll look farther up the passage for you, Kraden. Axes and swords can only be equipped, or axes and long swords, I should say, can only be equipped by Isaac and Garrett. Short swords can be equipped by Isaac, Garrett, and one other who we'll meet later. And we're actually going to go down first, even though obviously we should be going up. We're going to go down first because there's something nice down here. This is a synergy stone. This will give you back all of your synergy when you use it. Most of them come back. This one does not. But yeah, the short swords can be used by everyone except for Jenna and one other party member who we'll meet later. And maces can be used by Isaac, Garrett, and one other party member who we'll meet later. So yeah, there's all of that stuff, and we'll get there. And I'll tell you what kind of weapons they can use as soon as we get them. Now, this is a trap. This whole thing right here is a trap. Over here is how you solve the trap. Now, just for the sake of showing off everything, we're going to show off the trap. Now, the trap doesn't actually do anything harmful except for almost kill Kraden, but that's okay. We don't care about Kraden. Oh, look at the lightning, guys. We made lightning. So yeah, we just almost killed Kraden. That's alright. He's old. It's alright, guys. He's gonna die anyway soon enough. I'm just joking. Kraden, that man lives for a long time. Let me tell you. Let me tell you. This is a trap. Thank you, Admiral Akbar. Should I say Admiral Kraden? Well, I guess Isaac, Gert, and Jenna wouldn't have any idea because they're in the room below, but, you know, still. Well, we don't want to move any statues. Or do we? There is a statue we do want to move. And that's the, how you fix the trap. No, don't tell us anymore. Even if you say yes, yeah. Even if you say yes, he pretty much says the same thing. Says, well, you probably wouldn't understand it if I told you now anyway. Arguably, it's true, but it's kind of a jerk move. Almost said douche, but you know, trying to keep this PG-13, even though I just kind of ruined that. Who needs PG-13, right, guys? Right? All right, so we're gonna go ahead and push this. Push, push, push. Yay, we made some light. Wait for it, wait for it. Push, push, push. Yay, we pushed over it. And look, there it is. You know what, guys? You know what? Before we go on any further, I want to go ahead and say that if you guys haven't played this game, and can find it and know you can find it, then I strongly suggest you go out and play it for yourself first before watching me and seeing, you know, all the stuff I do, or only coming here if you need help finding something. Because like this game is really good. Both this one and the second one. Though finding the second one, I'm gonna tell you guys right now, is almost impossible. I was able to find a copy, but it took me forever. Finding these games is really hard. Finding the third one isn't that hard. I also suggest you go play that one. I suggest you, if you can find them, play all three of them if you can. But if you can't, then that's, you know, go ahead and keep. If you can't and you want to know the story and all that, yeah, go ahead and keep watching. But if you can find them, as hard as it is, if you can find them and afford to buy them, because they're like 25 bucks a piece, and afford to buy them, then like I really suggest you guys go out and you buy them and you play them for yourself first before watching this, because these games are awesome, especially when you do them yourself, because you can do your own stuff, you can do your own experimentation. Like I'm not gonna do that much experimentation in this game because, you know, I've played it so much. But for anyone else, man, you guys really should like learn your own strategies, do your own stuff. It's really, this game is really, really good, and it deserves it. But I mean, I understand if you guys can't find it and you want to keep watching. I understand 100% because it took me forever to find another copy, because, you know, I wanted to get my brother a copy, and so he, you know, he could play it, and so, you know, instead of playing mine. And it took me forever to find it. And then while looking out for that one, I was able to find a copy of the second game too, which I was so surprised at. Like I literally couldn't pass up the opportunity to buy it. Like it is that rare to find it. So I mean, if you guys can find them, kudos to you because they're hard to find. But these games are really worth it. Now we have solved this puzzle. You know, you just move all the statues. It's not that hard. But if you notice, this one over here was a sun, and now it has changed to a moon, whereas that one was a moon and has changed to a sun, which is the whole crux of this entire puzzle. Now we're going to go back here. You know, I said he was actually in the room above us. He was actually in the room below us, now that, you know, we can see that. I didn't even think about the whole staircase thing. So now, you know, we're talking some more. And now we're going to keep going, and oh, look at that. It's all glowy. Of course there's something in this room. Let's click on it. And we made a portal. Yay, portal. Now, normally I would want to cut here, but I really don't want to break this up. I really don't want to break this up. Because we're about to get into some important stuff. So I'm not going to break it up here. I'm going to break it up after all of this little sequence. I'm going to break it up. I'm going to stop recording and start recording the next episode because I record this 2 episodes at a time. But that's what but I don't want to cut during this part. So bear with me, guys. I know this is a long episode, but bear with me because I don't want to cut here because it would leave a lot of unanswered questions for a lot of you, and then you'd have to wait till the next episode. So we're going to go ahead and complete this little section, and then as soon as we're out of Soul Sanctum, the moment we step foot outside of Soul Sanctum, I'm going to cut the video. Alright, but I'm telling you right now, this whole little section is somewhere between 5 and 10 minutes long, depending on whether or not you mash text. I'm not going to be mashing text because I want you guys to read the text. So, yeah, sorry about that, guys. I know it's a long episode, but if you can't stand to watch it all at once, then by all means, pause it, come back later. I really just don't feel like cutting it at this point. So, sorry about that, guys. I know it's a long video. So, oh, I accidentally hit that one too fast. Sorry, guys. We're talking about the elemental stars and the 4 elements, which are the 4 elements, of course, according to alchemy, make up all of matter. And so, these elemental stars are the sheer amalgamation of all that is alchemy, all that is that element. So we have Venus, of course. Then we have Mercury. Then we have Mars. And finally, we have Jupiter. So yeah, these are our 4 elements, as I've already stated. Now, what do you mean, why are you getting so excited? This is awesome. These are amazing. Yeah, we're going to say yes. Of course you did, Garrett. Of course you did. Now, he's essentially talking about the Philosopher's Stone. And what he's saying right here, that it can transmute crude matter into gold and thwart death itself. I'm going to tell you guys right now, the Philosopher's Stone doesn't truly exist. Not really, not like this. That's just the sheer power that alchemy can accomplish. I just said yes there. Most of the time it's easier to just say yes. But, yeah, and actually, he's not lying there. With a single one of these stars, you could conquer the world. However, it's getting to that power that's really hard. But these are things you don't really learn. Yet. Now, one thing he did mention earlier is he said that this looked like the ocean, but it wasn't the ocean. And then Garrett asked what the ocean was. The ocean... Creighton said it was an endless expanse of water, And that's not actually strictly true for this game, because this game takes place on a flat planet. The planet's name is Wayard, and it is flat. So the water runs off at the edges, essentially. Where does it come from? Who knows, but it runs off at the edges. Yeah, let's go get the stars. I'm happy to get the stars. But yeah, everything gets, all the water falls off the edge. It is a flat world, which doesn't really come into play this game. It comes into play in the second and third game, which hopefully you guys will get to see on my channel at some point in the future, just not right now. Especially not since we're doing this game right now, and I don't want to, you know, spoil anything for this game for those of you who don't know the story already. Now, what he just gave us are mithril bags. These are what he got from his cottage earlier, the the gray bags. So now this is what we're going to put the elemental stars in, which means he obviously expected to come here. He obviously expected we would find this. So now we have 4 mithril bags. We're going to go ahead and we're going to hop on up to this place. We're going to hop down here, and we're going to grab our first elemental star, which is the Venus star. By the way, you have to get these in a predetermined order, because there are obstacles in your path in the form of you can't jump that far. So since we can't jump that far, we're going to go ahead and grab them in the right order, and everything's going to be fine. So now I get the Venus star, and now Kraden's going to pat us on the head and tell us we're good boys. Now we're going to go on up and get the second elemental star that we will be obtaining, the Mercury star. I'm gonna tell you guys right now, though, my favorite star to look at is the Jupiter star, because it's not just purple. It actually breaks away from the standard everything is the same color as what you'd think it is. It's not, yeah, it's not straight purple, which, you know, makes it better. So now we're actually going to go ahead and get the Jupiter star, because it's the next one we can obtain. By the way, I'm holding B to run. That's how you run, B. You hold down B and you run. So now we're going to do some more stuff. Some more pillars are going to come up. We're going to grab the star. See, look. It's not just purple. And look, Kraden's not going to say anything, which apparently surprises Isaac and Garrett. Kind of surprises me too. So let's see what's wrong, if Isaac and Garrett will ever look over there. Oh, there they go. And look who it is. Satros and Minardi, our friendly villains of the day. If you haven't guessed already, these are the game's main villains. Not my favorite villains of the game, but the main ones, to be sure. We'll be seeing my favorite villain shortly. He's my favorite villain of the whole series. My favorite video game villain in general. And definitely one that people seem to forget a lot when making lists of really awesome video game villains. Also, if you see here, they've apparently made an agreement with this mysterious masked man to not harm Jenna, Kraden, Isaac, or Garrett. So they say we'll be safe as long as we hand over the elemental stars. I plan on handing them over, because there's no point not to. They just kick our butt again and take them, and then hurt Jenna and Kraden, and that's not cool. Yeah, I accept your terms. Kraden, of course, does not want us to give them the elemental stars, for good reason. With even one, you can conquer the world, and we're about to give them 3. So, and that's a very good question, Kraden. What guarantee do they have? Minardi apparently does have one, though. So they're apparently going to make our mysterious masked man remove his mask. So let's see if he does it. Oh, you see that name? I'm sure you guys still remember that name. Should be still pretty fresh in your minds. That is what he said. No. Did we see him die? I don't think we saw him die. We just saw that he wasn't holding on to his pole. So, what does that mean? Does that mean that Felix is still alive? Could it be? But Jana is, you know, whining. That accident, my brother, he, shut up. So, Mysterious Masked Man's gonna remove his mask. And what could it be but, oh look what it is! It is Felix, even though his features aren't really visible. Not that we know what his features are anyway, because we only saw him in the technical overworld. But don't worry guys, that is Felix. That is the Felix that fell off the pole, and Sadros and Minardi apparently saved him. Of course, they saved him so they could use him later. Now Jenna's gonna cry. I thought you were dead. Well, he's not. See, now they say that, but if Sadros and Minardi really wanted to hurt them, there's not a whole lot Felix could do about it. Felix is kind of a wimp at this point. Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and say yes there. But Felix couldn't do anything. Really couldn't. So, we're going to go ahead and give the elemental stars to Garrett. Garrett's going to take him over there, but oh, look who it is! My favorite villain. Meet Alex, everyone. As they just said, that's his name. Alex is freaking awesome. Don't get to see it that much in this one. Get to see it a lot more in the second and third game. Get to see it a lot more in the second and third game, but Alex is a pretty freaking beast bad guy. Freaking... I can't even talk about how much I love Alex. He deserves to be on every top 10 villain list in the world. Ever. Ever, 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 ever. Because he's awesome. Just accept it, guys. Just accept the awesomeness that is Alex. Like, I mean, it appears Sadros is in charge, right, guys? I'm going to tell you right now, Alex comes up with the plans. Alex is really the one in charge of everything. And I just said yes there, by the way. And it may seem like Sadros knows what he's doing, but without Alex, none of this would have happened. You don't even really get to see that until the second game, which is kind of, you know, it's kind of sad that they kind of push Alex that far back, but, you know, it makes it all the more awesome when you find out it was just him. He's, you know, been doing everything. Alex is freaking awesome. And that doesn't really, don't worry, that doesn't, like, you know, betray any story aspect at all. Don't worry, guys. Like, the story isn't really based around Alex, okay, in any of the games. But he is the cause of a lot of mischief and a lot of mayhem. So, just remember that. Just remember that when you're wondering who causes all these problems. Just remember, it is our friendly neighborhood Alex. But as you can see, everything's kind of exploding. Whew, this is not good. This is what happens when you remove the elemental stars, people. Bad stuff. Look! Giant floating eyeball. A rock. It's floating. Do you know what it is, Isaac? Now, get ready. I'm gonna go ahead and say yes. Yeah, I know it's a rock, stupid. So yeah, Isaac's a bit of a smartass. I said I was gonna keep PG-13, but no. I guess not there, but yeah, he's a bit of a smart aleck. It's really awesome. That is actually the first change. You can see that dialogue options, like what you choose to say, really does affect the dialogue, and especially later on down the line, you'll see like the different dialogue options that you make throughout the entire game matter as far as dialogue is concerned, because it actually changes some of the dialogue that is said later on in the game. And you can make the game really, really funny that way with some of the stuff that some of your characters, some of your party members will say to you. I have to wait for another day. So now they're saying that we can't just leave them here. They won't make it out alive. Jerk. We'll survive. See, Alex has a good plan here. If we survive, we're gonna have to follow them because we're gonna want Jenna back. Like, who cares about crusty old Kraden? We're gonna take Jenna back. See, Alex is smart. Alex is freaking cool. He's also a Mercury adept, the first Mercury adept we've seen, and we've yet to see a Jupiter adept. Though we will soonish. Don't worry, we're not gonna see one before the end of this episode, but we'll see one soonish. So, let's continue. Don't worry guys, we're almost done with this part. And then once we're done, you know, I already said I was going to cut it as soon as we're out of Soul Sanctum, because pretty much once this is done, we're out of Soul Sanctum. It doesn't take much longer to get out. So now Felix is getting angry at Minardi, and Minardi's getting angry at Felix, but now Satros is reining her in, because Satros is... Let's just say if Minardi tried to fight Satros, it would not end well for her. And yeah, she's super submissive to Satros, but pretty much you have to be. He's not the strongest fighter there. I'm pretty sure Alex could beat him. I'm pretty sure if they fought one-on-one, Alex could beat him. But if Minardi tried to fight him, don't think it would work. Now, unfortunately, in this game, you never get to fight Alex. I would love to fight Alex, because he's freaking awesome. I would love to be able to say, ha, I beat Alex. Even if it is with a party of 4. I would love to say that I beat Alex, but never happens. Never happens in this game, so it's kind of sad. Love Alex though, guys. Just can't say that enough. I love Alex. Even if you can't tell, even if you can't see why yet, I love Alex. So yeah, I would go ahead and say that yes, this did turn out badly. I wouldn't say it's a miracle. We hid behind a statue. Statues are invincible, man. Have you ever seen a broken statue? Don't answer that. No, I don't think they would hurt Jenna and Kraden, because that wouldn't be very helpful to their interests. This whole place is crumbling around us, so we should probably get out of here and stop talking. But we're just gonna look around, apparently. Yes, it is. So can we move? Can we go? I'm hitting the buttons. Can I move yet? Nope. Can't move yet, guys. We're still in cutscene. We're still in a cutscene. We're still in a cutscene. Yeah, we're in big trouble. Can we get out of here? Nope. Yeah, see, I want to get out of here, Garrett, but you're not letting me, because you're keeping us in the cutscene. And now we have a giant rocky eyeball staring at us. Thank you, Garrett. Thank you so much. See, the giant rocky eyeball asked the good questions. Why are we still standing here? He's the dangerous one. He hasn't done anything to us. You're so emotional, Garrett. Quit being a Mars adept. Volcano will erupt soon. Or will soon erupt. I mean, I cannot hold it long. Yeah, that's right. He's holding back an entire eruption. This guy is freaking awesome. But wait, what is this? The Elemental Djinn. They have returned. So yeah, you know those Djinn I was talking about in the first episode? And yes, we are going to take out the Elemental Star. Those Djinn I was talking about in the first episode, this is them. So, I've always wondered if you could, like, somehow get out of the village. If you could find... like, if you could, find the Djinn before they're released. I just think that that would be really cool. Even though you couldn't really do anything with it, I'm pretty sure that even to complete the game, you'd still have to go through all of this so you could get the Mars Star, because you need it in order to complete the game. But I'm not entirely sure. I don't know. I don't have a clue. Because I've never done it, and I don't even know if it's possible. But, you know, it's one of those things that could happen. And our eyeball friend is trying to keep the lava back, but it is not working. Dramatic music incoming. Or already here. But how? Or we could hop over the rocks again. So he's going to help us escape. He's going to teleport us. Because he's a giant rocky eyeball, and that's what giant rocky eyeballs do, guys. They help out their friends. Now, a lot of people think you have to run out of here, and that of course means fighting lots and lots of monsters, but seeing as I'm going to be doing most of my fighting off screen, and yes, it did, considering that I'm going to be doing most of my fighting off screen so you guys don't have to sit there and watch it all, except for what I do in videos, I'm just going to use this. Retreat! You'd be surprised how many people don't realize you can just retreat from this, and it takes you right to the beginning of this dungeon. And then you can just walk on out. Hey, it's over. Alright, so now we're out of Soul Sanctum, and since we're out of Soul Sanctum, we're going to go ahead and stop the video here with all of this dramatic music playing, and I'm going to start off the next video right here. So, see you guys tomorrow, and thanks for